Okay, we need to make a video about this camera control button on this iPhone 16 Pro Max, as this is one smartphone that I have been daily driving alongside of my Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and that being a primary device, this is one of them that I really switch from this one to maybe the Google Pixel device or whatsoever is the latest in the market. But for the most part, I have been using this device, and as I was looking at the leaks and the rumors for the iPhone 17 series, that is one device that we will be seeing in a few days as I release this video. It just made me think about one thing, that because the iPhone 16 Pro Max did not have a lot of upgrades, but the latest one was just about the AI features and about the camera control button, and the fact that how easily that we forgot about this feature. In fact, I have got a lot of friends and they also forgot about this feature being available on their smartphones as well, and the fact that now we have got the latest and the greatest in the terms of the iPhone in a few days, and that might also get a radical change in the terms of the design as well. And with the new features, you really just do forget about the features that were being available on the prior smartphones. And even though that this camera control button will be available on the iPhone 17 series as well, I think that this is one of the features that a lot of people would just forget, and it would just be a feature for a pro user. That really just mean that the pro Apple iPhones are for the pro people, and you just do not need this feature on the regular iPhones. And that might be due to the fact that because it is not one of the easiest things to use on this iPhone, so a lot of people really do not prefer to use this again and again. Might be sometimes they will just take this phone out of the pocket, and if they have got something else in their hand, they would just use the other hand to just bring on the camera application and just do a quick click, or just maybe hold it for a few seconds and start a recording on this thing and then just be done with it, and not really playing with the actual UI that comes with this camera control button. And that is exactly that what happened to me as well. So in the past 1 year or so, I just completely forgot about this thing, and I did not even realize that I was accidentally using this button on and off to use the features like the Apple Intelligence features. But here is what I want to talk about in this video, the latest additions or what was just upgraded with this specific button on this device. And there are mainly just two things that I want to talk about in this video. And the number one thing is really that now we have got the Apple Visual Intelligence feature that is tied to this button as well, which really means that this is not just a camera control button, but this is also one of the buttons where you can just trigger the Apple Intelligence feature, which is basically just if you are onto the home screen and if you just hold this thing for a bit longer, you will see that now you are in the Apple Intelligence feature. And as you can see that there is now an ask button, along with that there is a search button on this device. So ask will generally take you to the ChatGPT options. So whatsoever is in front of the screen, you can ask anything to ChatGPT, and that would be really like a text prompt and just getting the answers back. And on the other hand, you have got the search feature on this thing, which is basically just like using the Google Lens feature, and whatsoever is in front of this camera, it will give the Google search results and give you the links about that whatever is the product about, or might be if there is a similar link online on maybe Amazon or maybe Temu, you will get the product links about the specific thing that you are looking for, which is not really something that is different from the Google Lens feature. And also I noticed that even after a few months of this feature being available, this is not really a very fast one, and generally I just find the results from the Google Lens a bit more better than what we have on this one. Or maybe even the Gemini thing is also one of the thing on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra that really works better than this thing. So I'm not very amazed by this feature, but the fact that it is just available on just one long tap as this thing, I think that it is a really handy feature. So something that has been available and I just never realized that I use this button more for this feature rather than just opening up the camera control button. But now as today I was playing with this button, I just realized that there are two more features that what I want to discuss about in this video. And the number one is basically that you can map this button now not just to the camera, that is the original camera application, but also you can now map this button with something like the Snapchat camera application, or maybe if it is the Instagram application, or any other third-party application that is tied to the camera thing on this smartphone, which is just amazing. I never thought that Apple would really allow any third-party camera application to be tied with this camera button, but the fact that it is available, it is just amazing. Now to be able to use this feature, you need to go to the camera application settings, and from there you can look for the option that says the camera control, and from there you need to look for another option that says the launch camera option, and from there you will just get the different options that that are available on the device, like the Blackmagic camera application, or maybe the Instagram, or maybe the Snapchat. I normally do not use Snapchat because I know that I need to perform an extra step to be able to take a photograph on Snapchat, because once I am into the application and once I take a photograph, I need to manually save it into my gallery. But if I'm using something like the Instagram application, whenever I take a photograph, it instantly is saved into the Photos application of this iPhone, which is just one thing that I like. So if I just do not like the default camera application on this iPhone 16 Pro Max, I can always use Instagram or Blackmagic or any other one. But the downside of using this launch control option on this iPhone 16 Pro Max, or maybe just any iPhone with this camera control button, is that it just does not allow you to use the camera control options inside of any other third-party applications. So for example, if I'm using the Instagram one as one of the default ones to launch the camera control option, it would just not allow me to use the physical controls or the physical GUI that is built around this camera control button, which is something that I would say is meh, because Apple could have just really just forced the UI to be able to use the camera control options, which really just takes us away from the actual experience of using a physical control button on a smartphone. And at this point, it really just feels like a gimmick, because Apple could have just forced those options onto this third-party application on this smartphone as well, which they did not. But if you still just want to use this camera control button, I am happy to report that a lot of things on this smartphone is just fixed about this camera control button. Now it is a bit more snappy, it is a bit more faster, and at the same time it is a bit more polished experience. And also the two-stage camera shutter button that was available on this camera control setting, it is now also available for the front one as well. So now when you launch this camera control UI on this smartphone, just like this thing as you can see in this video, now if you are into this camera option, you will see that if you just scroll all the way up, you will see that it will switch the camera to the front, and then you can also do it to the back. And at the same time, when you just do a light press on this button, it will just have the focus to be set on the particular subject, and then at the same time you can just change the exposure or the depth of the field. And that is really the main point of this two-stage camera shutter button. That was one thing that was not available on this smartphone at the purchase time, but something that is fixed and something that I just did not know coming, because even though that I did use this smartphone for a long time, this was probably one of the features that I was not really testing each time, and I would just focus on the things like the all new the iOS 19 thing, the betas that I was just fiddling around with, and also with the latest and the greatest in the terms of the AI features that were rolling to this device, even though that they were not rolling in the best manner. And even right now I just think so that it is not one of the best AI implementations, and that is also something that Apple has just been accepting again and again in different press releases. So that is a very good thing, which means that Apple might improve things in the terms of the AI one. But the question is that, are you really using this camera control button on this iPhone or no? Because I really think is that I am really used to the normal camera application, and I just do not really want to fiddle around with this camera control options on this thing, but not something that everyone might be thinking about this smartphone in the same way as well. But do let me know that what are your thoughts in the comment sections below. And well, that was all about this video. My name is Anshul. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.